what it is, what it do. It's your girl Brittany, back better, another video. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, like the video, click the bell to be notified of every time I post. You know what it is, I know what it is. We both know I post frequently. All right, y'all, say it with me collectively. We are jumping, we are skipping, we hopping, we leaping. We doing a Dougie bow, our Dougie yow into this video. Click the link down in the description box below to become a paid member on my Patreon. All right, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this video. Okay, y'all, so in today's video, I'm going to talk to y'all about the 3 panels that were done with Now That's TV. We are going to get into the Dollhouse panel, and we're also getting into, obviously, Young and Reckless panel and the podcast they did with Sway today. Now, I'm not going to lie to y'all. I do not have pictures of everybody. I don't. And even with Dollhouse, some of the girls have not made it onto the screen yet who were talking. So I don't think it's right for me to show certain pictures of certain people and not others. So I just cut out, y'all know, the little pictures I put in all together. But we gonna get into the panels that they did with the Two-Headed Goat show first. We're gonna do that first. And then we're gonna move on to the one with Swag. Now, first things first, I'm gonna get Dollhouse out the way. Because low-key, Dollhouse wasn't doing nothing but talking about Kenzy. It was Kenzy this, Kenzy that, Kenzy everything. Everybody collectively was just all together, had an understanding that Kenzy was not supposed to be on the show. Kenzy, out of all the quote-unquote OGs, T-girls of Now That's TV, Kenzy is the girl everybody feels as though is not up to par. Still looking how she looked at 3 years ago and could have stayed off the show. She did not give OG. She gave very much get the boot. Kenzy was being two-faced the whole time. Kenzy did not even make it to the end of the season, allegedly. Kenzy had a lot going on, but not enough to where anybody respected her. Poor Kenzy. Kenzy was on the panel in a car. One of them said, Kenzy, go in the house. You ain't got no house. I hollered so loud. Apparently, allegedly, Kenzy is also a thief. Kenzy ends up allegedly stealing Pookie's shorts on the show. Why? I don't know. But really, the whole panel was about Kenzy. And they asked, like I told y'all, everybody was in agreement that Kenzy shouldn't be there. And they end up asking, out of all the OGs, which one of y'all thinks that should have went home or shouldn't have been there? And everybody said Kenzy. I just thought that was too funny. That was so funny to me. Like, everybody, even Twitter was dog walking Kenzy. Everybody like, Kenzy looks the same. Kenzy has not elevated in no type of way. And I totally agree. I definitely feel as though Kenzy, I've been told y'all this. I really feel like Kenzy is scary. Like, super duper scary. Never really want to catch phase. Never want to get up in there. Kenzy be overhyping her fights, like, I dogged you, I walked you, I beat you up. And it's like, the Boom Master sister, little sister at that, like, you're not really giving what you think that you're giving. Also, I will say, because I started watching it in the beginning, but they was having a lot of technical difficulties, so they had to go over to bingo. I ain't got no bingo, so I was just like, baby, child, let it go. But I will say, Joyce, to me, was really clocking T. Joyce ends up letting it be known that she felt like a lot of the girls did not take it serious. Like, obviously, you know, some of their looks, a lot of their looks, Shayla, Kenzy. Really, I would say Shayla and Kenzy was the ones who truly dropped the ball. For real. It was others that could have did a little more. But I would say Kenzy and Shayla really dropped the ball in the looks department. Joyce said that, this the first T-girl show. The girls should have been more dressed up. It should have been taken a lot more serious. The girls didn't seem like they just weren't taking it serious. It was just a walk in the park for them. And it was just like, no, like it's a great opportunity. If y'all gonna be some of the first girls, y'all need to look like it. I would say so far, to me, who really giving looks, and they didn't even have to do too much. But the bar was in hell, so they did look like they was overdressed or just looking, right on point, was Pookie and Ari. But I would always say Ari over Pookie. Ari came in like just giving. Ari gave a look. Pookie gave a look as well. And I think out of all the girls, those were the two for me was like, yes, eat. Because they was giving. They looked really, really cute. They also talked about Barbie up here lying. Liar, liar, pants are on fire. Burn, hit the flame. So Barbie up here lying, playing like she kept calling Joyce's fade out. Joyce let it be known that the first day she was not finna fight because she's the host. She wanted to host the first day. She's gonna gag y'all the second. Barbie said, that's fine. We can be friends. Like, that's fine, friend. We can just drop it. Joyce was like, you can get it the next day. Next day came. Everybody was in agreement that Barbie never pressed Joyce about the fade no more. Never talked about it, nothing. To an extent, this is why I really don't care for Barbie, because Barbie really do be lying. Not only do Barbie be lying, like Barbie to me, like when she go on the biological shows, Barbie be like BCA, like you be really wanting people to get out in the field, but when it comes time for you to get in the field, you don't really be on there like you play like you do. And I need you to have that energy with yourself. I want you to have more so that energy with yourself. And Barbie ends up saying that the only reason why she spared Joyce or really didn't try to fight Joyce the first day was because the fans told her, like, you do be just doing too much sometimes. Like, you a hater for real. I don't know. I don't really pay that much attention to Barbie to call Barbie a hater. I think Barbie is funny, hilarious. But I do think Barbie is timid, just like Kenzy. Now, Barbie will get in the field, but if Barbie don't have to, she not going to. On the other hand, when it comes to Kenzy, depending on who in the room, gonna play like, yeah, I'm on that, I need that. But Kenzy really don't be wanting to fight. Like, when I say really don't be wanting that, really don't be wanting that. Kenzy just be like, no, I'm good. But let's move on to the Young and Reckless panel. We jump right into Zanaya and Hennessy. Thank God. I didn't want to hear about no Minnie and nothing else. Jumping right into the fade that mattered. So they end up asking, Hennessy, what was the shift in mindset from before the club to after? She ends up saying that, she went to the club, got drunk, and she just wanted to fight. She got drunk and then she was on that. She said she was popping it to Zanaya in the club. And when she was popping it to Zanaya, everybody was like, she was tripping. She was doing too much. And I guess that's when Zanaya had said that, y'all know, okay, in the band, Zanaya was like, I just asked you in the club, did you need that? So I'm guessing when Hennessy was popping on her in the club, Zanaya just went ahead and asked her, like, do you want to fight? Like, I'm just trying to make sure, like, we still cool because we just had a conversation before we got here and, you was kind of just going to let my eye heal. But now it seemed like you not stun my eye. You need to get that. And I don't know what Hennessy said because they kind of muted him a little bit after they got that out. But apparently she got some liquid in her system, got some liquid courage, and just needed that. Now, Ferrari did ask a great question, and I feel like I see where Zanaya is coming from, only with this little part, though. Okay, so when they first was going to the club, Kayla was on a whole nother bus. She was not with Hennessy. Obviously, we know that Kayla was with Hennessy after they left the club because that's when the jump happened. Also, as y'all know, I pointed this out in my review. Not verbatim, but I pointed it out. Hennessy had abandoned Kayla once they got in that front seat. Once Zanaya started popping off and Zanaya like, oh, you should have been did this. Oh, y'all had to sneak and jump me, all this and that. Hennessy then started being like, oh, I didn't want to jump you. Like, I didn't want to jump you. A jump was just had. Like, I didn't want to. And Kayla was like, but it don't matter. Like, you know, taking up for her actions because Kayla was the one who popped off on Zanaya first. I feel as though I agree with what Zanaya said, just with this part only, that it does seem as though Hennessy needed somebody to help her get that fade. Because, no shade, you was pressed to fight that girl. You wanted to fight her, but you was playing like you really wasn't that thirsty to fight her. And like they said from the beginning, once y'all came in the house, you just sitting there. Kayla really took control and wanted to go and get her fade out the way with Zanaya. Zanaya did not want to really catch no fade with Kayla. Kayla wanted to catch a fade with Zanaya. You just standing there, I'll fight. I'll fight her. You should have just ran up on her. Why are you being polite? Why are you being nice about a fade when this girl jumped you? And my thing is this too. The girl jumped you and your sister. When y'all got in that front seat, regardless of how she looked, regardless of, you know, what the fans, you felt like the fans was going to say, because I do feel like that low-key they trying to save face because they feel like we going to turn against them. No shade. I'm not turning against y'all because y'all jumped Zanaya, because it was justified. Regardless if you did it with your homegirl, you did it with your sister, you did it with your twin brother. I don't care because Zanaya sat up here and jumped you and your sister not once but twice. So anything that you had, if you would have retaliated, whether it been a head up or a jump, it wouldn't have mattered to me because it would have been justified. If you would have took her heel and started knocking her in the head with her own heel, it would have been justified because she sat up there and jumped you. So I feel as though once they got in that front seat, Hennessy started reneging because it was like, oh, the fans ain't gonna like me. The fans. I don't want the fans to turn against me. Babe, we're gonna be on your side to turn against you regardless. Just do your stuff and just vibe. And that's it, and that's all. I think that you shouldn't have been apologizing for jumping her back. Again, if you would have took her heel, you'd have took her wig and put it on and started punching her in the face with her wig. That'd be your business because Zanaya had no business jumping you in the first place. And Zanaya is not no victim. Regardless of people, quote-unquote, liking her now, Zanaya is not no victim. She's not. So it do seem as though you needed Kayla, but also too, when you seen that she started getting hot, you abandoned Kayla too. And if I'm Kayla, I would never help you again. I would never like just try to help you no more. I see why Kayla keeps saying in the panels, I don't need Hennessy to fight for me. I don't need Hennessy to fight for me. I don't need Hennessy to jump in none of my stuff. Because when it came to it, like when the shit got hot, when the shit hit the fan, you quickly let it be known that you didn't want to do that when you were on that. You probably, and I don't know if this is true, but I'm just thinking this how it went. You probably had let Kayla know that you own it, that you want your favors and all. Like, you tired of sparing her. You don't care about her lip, da-da-da. And again, both of y'all wigs was off. So this was a conversation to be like, okay, when we get back in the van, we're going to turn up. We're going to act fun. We're going to just jump that bitch out of nowhere. And I think once Kayla started going through with the plan, your mental, because you say you was drunk, but I think regardless, you was having sober thoughts about these fans. Because again, you know, I told y'all when it came to Mean Girls, Hennessy is one of them type of people that throw a rock out her hand. When it came to Mean Girls with the whole Fly Now situation, she told us, because as y'all know, they fight was like later on in the season. She had never wanted to get her jump back with Fly Now. Never really was stunned Fly Now like that or nothing. Like early on when they was doing the panel, she had ended up saying, yeah, I beat Fly Now up. I told her up, da-da-da. The next week, Fly Now got on the panel and was like, what you say? You said you beat me up, da-da-da. Like, who you, da-da-da? She was like, I never said that. She one of them girlies. Like, I definitely think when the jump started, when Kayla just went ahead and popped off on Zanaya, that's why she started finding Jules to make it like, oh, we ain't trying to jump. Well, I ain't trying to jump you. I ain't trying to jump you because I just started finding Jules. But then, too, after you got done finding Jules, you went right over there. You started squaring up, and then you got to fight with Zanaya. As you're fighting Zanaya punching you back. Y'all fight. At one point, you stopped fighting her. You just holding her and got your head turned. Kayla then came in and started punching Zanaya because she like, okay, Hennessy, stop punching. Like, let me help my homegirl out. But like I said before, if I'm Kayla, I would never help you again because you the type that abandons ship when you can't play victim no more. Because honestly, with Mean Girls, I definitely feel as though you and your sisters was victims. And one thing Now That's TV did, baby, I mean, they soaked that storyline down. Storyline of the storylines of the storylines. But now, you coming in by yourself, and not necessarily are you the victim. You and kind of flipped it to where, I guess if we just talking in Zanaya being one person, you and Kayla being two, Zanaya is the victim. And I think in your mental, you was thinking about that, and you want to still look like the victim. Like, you still wanted to play victim. Like, I never wanted to jump you. When me and you was fighting one-on-one, and Kayla just came in and started punching. I apologize, because every week when they get on that panel, this is from the first panel. This is from the first time Kobe and Andre did that panel. Promise you, she was the one who brought it up and let it be known that she had apologized to Zanaya. Again, trying to think about what the fans was going to think. And obviously, like, people like Zanaya right now. That too shall pass. But people like Zanaya right now. So, it's like, oh, Zanaya still beating y'all up. Y'all jumped her. Oh, Zanaya got in the field with Kayla, beat Kayla up. People like her right now. So, you wanted to go on, get in front of the comments or get in front of our opinion and be like, no, like, I apologize. Like, I never want to jump her. My intentions was never to jump her. Like, girl, shut up. You jumped her. A jump was had. You got in the field. You put it on the line. You tore her. You said with your squabble, like you said, my lick, I'm getting back. My plate is empty. Let's run that. And you did what you did. That's it. That's all. Sit with it. Be grown about it. Yeah, I jumped her. Jumped her because she jumped me on the other show. And mind you, too, when you really started feeling the heat, because I feel as though she felt the heat on that sprinter first. Well, second. First, it was her mind about how we would take it. Second was in that sprinter because everybody was like, y'all got to jump little old Zanaya. Oh, my God, y'all jumping little old Zanaya, which little old Zanaya, be for real. Like, please, Zanaya fight more than she do clock in. Like, be for real. Like, let's be serious here. They Win and them all just got to find today. Like, come on now. They have nothing better to do. But anyways, I feel as though you wanted to save face. And again, going back to the bus. When they were like, no, like, why would y'all do Zanaya? Like, she been jumping me. She jumped me on the other show. Like, you just want to keep the victim mentality up. But girl, like I said, you should have just stood in your jump. Yes, I jumped her in. Oh, well, who next? Who else need that? Jules, do you need that again? You want to jump in anything else for your friend? I just feel like standing and you jumped her. We understand why you jumped her. We understand. Everybody who been watching, we understand. Not that deep. Jump her again. Get her twice. Moving on to Ferrari. So Ferrari ends up saying that she regrets putting Jules down as a person to go home. If y'all was here for the last week's panel, Nugs let it be known that nobody's going home. None of them are going home. So whatever happens next week, that just happens because none of the girls have to go home. Nobody gets sent home or whatever the case is. I definitely think that she wrong for putting Jules' name on there because Jules been in the field. Like, Jules, Nugs, Alexis, um, Kayla, Zanaya, them people have been getting the field. I don't know why she put Jules on there. And if anything, Jules fought more than any of them. Jules is out there fighting. Amber, Key Baby, Caribbean, I understand. But Jules, no. Ferrari ends up saying she did Jules like that because Jules was turned down in the club. Somebody put 2 medium-sized oranges on the side of your eye, you'll be turned down too. I'm not finna kick it when I got 2 medium-sized oranges on my face. I'm sorry, can't do it, not gonna do it, and I don't blame her for being a little more reserved. And probably too, she came in the house already just trying to fight for Amber, be on there with Amber, so she wasn't really able to observe the girls. So in the club, she just needs to observe everybody a little more, and I don't blame her for doing that. Now, things did end up taking a turn during the panel because of Lauren. Lauren is super corny. Just super corny. So, boom, she ends up telling a little bit of Alexis' business that she found out from Cuzzo, repeating something that was just dumb for her to repeat. I guess Alexis almost had twins, thought about it. She said she don't want to be a mother right now, and end up saying, body T. I'm going to keep this body I got, and if you're able to read between the lines. So Lauren brings that up, and everybody looked at Lauren like she was weird, and it was very weird because what did you gain by letting us know that she decided that she didn't want to be a mama? That's her choice. She wanted to keep that stomach on flat, and that's that. What's the issue? Kennedy also brought that up during the podcast. I thought that was lame of her too. Corny of her as well. But, I told y'all in panels that I've already previously done, they already said that Lauren and Kennedy was always kind of corny, for real. So I'm not surprised, but I am surprised on what they brought up because it really was no need for them to bring that up. It has nothing to do with the show. Now move on to the panel that was had today, or the podcast that was had today, the Sway podcast. They got a whole new setup. I liked it better though when they was in that smaller room. I feel as though ever since they moved to the bigger room, the podcast just ain't hit the same. And no shade, to an extent, this was a waste of time. And the only reason why I said it is because they talked about the same stuff over and over and over and over and over again. If I hear one more thing about their room situation, I'm going to scream. I'm tired of it. He basically touched on the same thing that the Two-Headed Ghost show touches on. And I feel as though we get a panel every week. So it would have made more sense, in my opinion, if he would have did his podcast the next week. And instead of going on a Two-Headed Ghost show, they would just go on, the podcast. That way we're getting fresh material. Because at this point, I'm tired of us talking about the room situation, Minnie, how they fought all the girls. Like, that was 17 episodes ago. Can we please move on to something else by now? Please. Thank you. Another thing that was kind of like, is him and Nuggs. So let me start off with Nugg. Nugg, this season is very like, let me talk. I feel as though every time she's on a panel, she's always like, let me talk. I'll let you talk. Let me talk. Don't interrupt me. And she don't be having her thoughts together before she say, don't interrupt me. Or before she, want to have the floor. I don't feel like her thoughts are together. I feel as though she be saying the same thing over and over. And he did call her out for being long-winded. I don't feel as though he should have called her out. It was kind of a little bit unprofessional because it was given that he was picking at Nuggs. At one point, Nuggs was getting into it with, I believe, Key Baby. And Nuggs was spitting. Obviously, she was not spitting on purpose. But when people talk, they might spit. The spit might get on you or whatever the case was. I believe she spit like 4 times. And he just kept saying, like, oh my God, you keep spitting. Like, oh my God, Nugs, like, chill. She can't hold spit. Like, if spit is coming out her mouth, spit is just coming out her mouth. You know, next time, don't sit her by you because she's a spitter. But I feel as though it was unprofessional for him to, like, just keep calling her out. He had said that she was long-winded. Then when she was getting into it with somebody, he kept, like, interrupting the argument, and she kept ignoring him. But it was like, too, he just was doing too much. He was doing too much. At one point, she was going back and forth with Key Baby. She did cut Key Baby off, and then he called her out and was like, but you keep cutting her off. And I understand it's like he wanted to be fair, but I think it's a way that you say stuff. And two, he was just doing too much. He wanted to be one of the girls, in my opinion. Like, he was getting super sassy. Like, every time the girls was, you know, getting into it, he like, stop. Hey, you gonna respect me. R-A-S-B-A-C-T. You gonna respect me. It just was like he wanted to be one of the girls. He was just doing too much. To me, he wanted to be seen too much. And at one point, he asked them all to stop talking. And Yaz felt hit by something that Alexis or Key Baby said. And Yaz kept going. He was like, hey, remove yourself. Like, da, da, da. She didn't stop talking, but it's just like, in my opinion, I just felt like he was doing too much. He just wanted to be seen himself. And it was too many technical difficulties when it came to the people calling in, to the sound. Like, they kept stopping to get the calls in. I just need them to work on that. That needs to be worked on. Because at this point, y'all need to get a new number or something. I don't know. But yeah, he was doing a lot. And to me, if he can't control himself, he needs to allow Deja to do the podcast or let somebody else host it. If he can't control how he talked to them. At one point, he was telling them to shut the F up. I just don't really care for men doing all that with women. I don't like all that. And I just think, you know, at this point, they've been going on 3 years. He should know how to conduct himself with these big personalities by this point. And again, like I said, they really was just talking about the same thing over and over and over again. So let's move on to something Nuggs and Legacy touched on. So they talked about, you know, what's an OG? And I definitely thought that was a great question. Lexi ends up saying that she's an OG because she's an original. She don't feel like Nuggs or people from season 2 or 3 who were called back are originals or OGs. They're more so like returners. Nuggs got offended in a way and just was like, no, I'm an OG. Season 2 was good because I was on it, because Lexi was like, season 2 was trash. She was like, no, season 2 was good because I was on it. And Nuggs was letting it be known, you know, everybody don't get a call back. So, you know, I stamped it. I did what I needed to do. So, no, you know, I'm an OG or whatever. Legacy, and I will say Swag, was trying to explain to her that nobody was against her. I definitely think the more we see Nuggs on the panels and the podcast, she on defense. As much as she want to say she don't care, she care the most. She's reading the comments. She's watching the reviews. She cares about how she looks. And I think that she's not working in her own favor by being so defensive. Like, as soon as she came on, it just gave defensive. Very much. Like, yes, you did your thing. We get what you're saying. But I feel as though Legacy's argument was more valid because it's like, I'm an original. Like, season 1 is the reason why the show got brought back. You know, you are a returner because you just came from the second season. Yes, you can call yourself an OG, but you're not really, you're an OG, but you're not an OG. You're more like a returner. So I got what Lexi was saying, and nobody was trying to take anything away from Nuggs. But like I told y'all, she was real like her guard was up early on. So it was just like, you could have said anything, she was ready to bark back. And it was just like, vibe. But they did give her ones. It was like, when I think of Nugs, I think of Young and Reckless. I do not think of Girls Trip. And I agree. To an extent, depending on what part of Young and Reckless. When I think of Nugs, and this is no shade to Nugs, when I think of Nugs, I think about how her and Mel got to fight in that living room, and she lied, saying that she got in the paint with Nugs, and she won. When I think of Nugs, that's the first thing that come in my mind of how Mel rocked her in that living room, and that girl sat up there and lied like that on their live. That irritated me, because why would you lie like that? Like, what did you gain by lying? Knowing that we was going to see the footage. Boom. He ends up saying Dollhouse is on Young and Reckless toes. I guess the views are viewing for Dollhouse, which is good. Period. As it should. But I'm not going to lie to y'all. I told y'all. First episode was boring. First episode was super boring to me. And mind you, they came out with a first episode, but like more details, I guess, when they was talking to a T-girl who been a T-girl for the longest, and, everything. I didn't go back and watch it because my thing is, y'all should have put out that part first. Y'all should have put out the extended version the first time. But I will say, everybody's been waiting on Dollhouse, so I can understand it being an anxious feeling to want to go and watch it, and how the views might have been there because everybody was so excited to see this finally come to fruition. But will I say that the first episode was hitting like that? No. Very much no. Very much no. They also hit on the Y&R house, on how they brought the Dollhouse girlies to the Y&R house. And y'all know we called that out. Because why would y'all bring them to Young and Reckless house? Why would y'all do that? Maybe this a good luck house or some child. But everybody was saying that. And I do think that Now That's TV need to, stop trying to make shortcuts. Have a Dollhouse house. A Young and Reckless house. A Room Hates house. Like, have these people in a house. Stop doing shortcuts and get a house. We move on to Legacy and Kennedy's beef. As y'all know, they was going back and forth on Instagram about you paid $10,000 for your body and you're still fat, and oh, your daddy fat, so why are you talking about me being fat? There was a lot of fat going around. But anyways, Legacy was in there first. And then Alexis came out, sat by Legacy. Kennedy came out, Lexi stood up, and Alexis turned her chair. Letting it be known like they ain't scared and they own that. Kennedy ends up walking past them. So Sway ends up telling them, introduce yourselves or whatever. Kennedy ends up saying, y'all know who I am. All three of them know who I am. But Lexi ends up posting on her Instagram, like, when you say it's on site. Because, again, like I told y'all, she stood up. She stood up, like, okay, you said when you see me, you was going to rock me. You walked right past me. That's what I thought. I'm not going to lie, her and Kennedy went roast for roast. Kennedy like, oh, I could buy you. Like, I make so much money on TikTok, da-da-da. Lexi ends up showing her check from TikTok and tells Kennedy, let's go bankroll for bankroll. Kennedy talking, but that phone never came out to show that bankroll. Sway ends up calling her out, saying like, Lexi showed hers. You can't go big bank, take little bank when you don't want to show your bank account. Kennedy ends up saying some, let's go account for account. He like, you just said check for check. Now, it's given you have a 9 to 5. It's given we see why you still live with your parents, because you do not want to show that money on. Now, again, it was a lot going on. And it was Alexis and Legacy versus Kennedy. But then Key Baby jumps in, and that's when Yaz jumps in, you know, letting it be known like, hey, okay, it's not gonna be too many people on her, and basically just letting it be known like she's standing behind Kennedy. So when it came to Kennedy and girl, what is your name? Key Baby fight. For whatever reason, her name is like disappearing from my brain. First of all, let me say this before I get to that fight. Key Baby is so pretty with that black wig on. Key Baby, stay away from them yellows and them reds, cause they don't. I mean, you still look pretty, but that black. Oh my God, Key Baby looked like a whole different person with that black wig on her head. It's like I didn't even see her dimples, how pretty she was with the red and the yellow wig. I really feel like that black wig did her features justice, because she really ate it up with that black wig. Like, oh my God. Like, just seeing her, I'm like, she is so pretty. Like, the wonders that a wig can do. A wig can take away from you or, you know, help. And I definitely think, like, she's beautiful. But them colorful wigs take away her beauty in a sense. Like, the red wig on her confessional really, like, washes her away. So I don't really care for it. And the yellow wig, it just giving cap on top of your head. But the black wig, it just looked just so pretty on her. Like, it complimented her a lot. So they end up talking about Key Baby in Kennedy fight. So I guess Key Baby snuck Kennedy. And Key Baby was, you know, asking like, hey, what y'all think of my fight? I know I ain't get beat up, da-da-da. Like, what y'all think? So she ends up asking Nuggs. Nuggs did do the most. I ain't gonna lie. So Nuggs like, well, you asked me my opinion, so let me tell you. That girl said, you snuck her? She turned around and whooped you down. BTA. Turned around and mopped you. Key Baby said, you would say that. You the same person who said you tore me up both rounds. So, yeah, no, shut up. Can't wait to see it, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I told y'all early on in the video, they already said that Kennedy and Lauren are clout chasers. Like, they be doing too much. They pick and choose what fades, you know, they want to have. Now, Key Baby said, you know, she ain't stunned with nobody talking about, just be ready at the reunion. Love that, because it's too much talking. Let's just hurry up and get in the field, and let's do what needs to be done. So the girls did have some outros, and really it's only kind of like one I really want to talk about, which is Yasmin. So she ends up saying that she is not a follower, and she don't really play about Kennedy. I think she's saying that because everybody, from my point of view, my opinion, when it came to the panel, she made it seem as though she was riding behind Minnie. And when we see her on the show, it did seem like she was following Nuggs and whatever Nuggs wanted to do, which Nuggs didn't mind. But it was like, still, like, you know, you doing too much. Like, you don't have a mind of your own. But y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm going to see y'all in the next one. Love y'all. Bye.